you with India Today. I'm Davina Gupta, and as Brexit becomes official, what is official from 10 Downing Street is that British Prime Minister David Cameron has decided to hang his boots. He's decided to quit by October. He has said in his speech with the media people right now that he cannot be the captain to steer the country in the right direction with the new era. He's accepted the mandate of the people to leave the European Union, saying country now needs fresh leadership. We'll try and play out that reaction for you, where British Prime Minister David Cameron has said that he's now not going to continue at the prime ministerial position. He's also said that the UK cabinet would meet, and it is now up to the Conservative MPs to decide who would be the next leader for the country. But David Cameron has also said that he will be with he will be at the Prime Minister's office till October to steer the country towards the Article 50 of the European Union Treaty, which means that the European Union Treaty, if Britain activates it, that Britain will be out of the European Union. It'll take 2 years for all the processes to formalize. But David Cameron has said he will only be at the helm of affairs till October and transition the power to the next Prime Minister, the next in line for the leadership. No word coming from the Conservative Party right now who that could be, but 84 Conservative MPs who had campaigned for Leave campaign in the European Union had urged David Cameron to stay, but he has firmly said no.
Good morning, everyone.
We have Virendra Sharma, who's joining us at this point of time. He is with the Labour Party. Now, Mr. Sharma, it was widely expected. The gamble that Cameron had indulged in, it failed, and Cameron luck ran out. But the way he has chosen to announce his decision to resign in front of the media persons immediately after the results were announced, has it shocked you?
I think it's a very shocking. Both the newses. Well, first, losing the vote on exit, that we will be leaving EU, is a shocking news. Second is the way David Cameron has announced. It is a disaster for the country, particularly for the Conservative Party, because the way he is behaving is not going to unite the country, and whoever comes into negotiation with the EU countries, the leadership will be in a worse position than David Cameron, who had the friendly approach with Europe, and the European leadership could have been behaved in a better way or respond in a better way than they will be going to respond to a new leader who is going to support.
Absolutely. Mr. Sharma, be with us.
Part.
Absolutely, be with us, because what we're seeing right now is a divided Conservative camp as well, and who would be next in line is the big question. But David Cameron's voice broke as well as he finished his speech. His wife Samantha was at the spot as well. Let's take a listen into what he said.
The way our people can travel. The will of the British people is an instruction that must be delivered. It was not a decision that was taken lightly, not least because so many things were said by so many different organisations about the significance of this decision. So there can be no doubt about the result. Across the world, people have been watching the choice that Britain has made. I would reassure those markets and investors that Britain's economy is fundamentally strong. And I would also reassure Brits living in European countries and European citizens living here that there will be no immediate changes in your circumstances. There will be no initial change in the way our people can travel, in the way our goods can move, or the way our services can be sold. We must now prepare for a negotiation with the European Union. This will need to involve the full engagement of the Scottish, Welsh and Northern Ireland governments to ensure that the interests of all parts of our United Kingdom are protected and advanced. But above all, this will require strong, determined and committed leadership. I'm very proud and very honoured to have been Prime Minister of this country for 6 years. I believe we've made great steps. with more people in work than ever before in our history, with reforms to welfare and education, increasing people's life chances, building a bigger and stronger society, keeping our promises to the poorest people in the world, and enabling those who love each other to get married, whatever their sexuality. But above all, restoring Britain's economic strength. And I'm grateful to everyone who's helped to make that happen. I've also always believed that we have to confront big decisions, not duck them. That is why we delivered the first coalition government in 70 years to bring our economy back from the brink. It's why we delivered a fair, legal and decisive referendum in Scotland. And it's why I made the pledge to renegotiate Britain's position in the European Union and to hold a referendum on our membership, and have carried those things out. I fought this campaign in the only way I know how, which is to say directly and passionately what I think and feel, head, heart and soul. I held nothing back. I was absolutely clear about my belief that Britain is stronger, safer and better off inside the European Union. And I made clear the referendum was about this and this alone, not the future of any single politician, including myself. But the British people have made a very clear decision to take a different path. And as such, I think the country requires fresh leadership to take it in this direction. I will do everything I can as Prime Minister to steady the ship over the coming weeks and months. But I do not think it would be right for me to try to be the captain that steers our country to its next destination. This is not a decision I've taken lightly, but I do believe it's in the national interest to have a period of stability and then the new leadership required. There is no need for a precise timetable today, but in my view we should aim to have a new Prime Minister in place by the start of the Conservative Party conference in October. Delivering stability will be important, and I will continue in post as Prime Minister with my Cabinet for the next 3 months. The Cabinet will meet on Monday. The Governor of the Bank of England is making a statement about the steps that the Bank and the Treasury are taking to reassure financial markets. We will also continue taking forward the important legislation that we set before Parliament in the Queen's speech. And I've spoken to Her Majesty the Queen this morning to advise her of the steps that I'm taking. A negotiation with the European Union will need to begin under a new Prime Minister.
So only for 3 months, David Cameron will be in the Prime Minister's office, after which he'll vacate the office. There will be a new leader who will be elected from the Conservatives, and he would take over the UK's prime ministerial trip in October. We do have Virendra Sharma, who is the Labour leader, and also we have with us Manoj Ladwal, political strategist. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Now, Mr. Sharma, as we were talking about, David Cameron has always been called the lucky politician. It seems his luck has run out, but during the referendum campaign, David Cameron maintained that he will not resign even if the country chooses Brexit. It's a sudden U-turn.
Yeah, I think that it's not a U-turn, but it's certainly a sign of the frustration he has gone through. I personally don't believe that he should have resigned so quick. As I said earlier, that he is in a better position to negotiate the terms with the European leadership than the newly appointed or elected leader of the Conservative Party, who will be from Brexit. And I think that this is the next few months are the crucial for Britain to rethink their strategy, and the Conservative Party particularly to think who could be the next leader and the then future Prime Minister, who can unite the country rather than divide. Present leadership in the Conservative Party, who is emerging as the leaders of the Conservative Party, are the divisive forces who will divide not only Europe but also divide Britain. So I think it's a very crucial period for all of us in Britain to watch and then react.
All right, Mr. Sharma, appreciate you joining us and talking to India today. Let's also go across to Manoj Ladwal, political strategist, who is at the moment with us. Now, Mr. Ladwal, how do you see right now David Cameron's sudden exit after Brexit. He could have waited for some time. He's immediately gone ahead and announced his resignation from the 10 Downing Street. The Labour MP talking to us had said that the country needs an experienced leadership. This is not the time for change for the UK. He could have held on and perhaps announced his wish to leave the office at a later time.
Well, that could have been one option. I totally agree with my friend Virendra Sharma. However, it was almost inevitable after the UK decided to leave the European Union that David Cameron's position would become increasingly untenable. And I think he saw the writing on the wall. Before he was pushed, he decided to do what we would regard as the most graceful thing, to announce his resignation. He's not going straight away. There will be a period within which the Conservative Party will have to reflect and go through a process to choose their next leader. But I do agree wholeheartedly with Virendra Sharma that there are deep concerns about who the next leader of the Conservative Party will, by default, be the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom will be. We cannot afford to have a divisive figure. It has to be somebody that has the experience and ability to unite the country at a time when things are very, very sensitive. There will be a tendency and a push, particularly from far-right forces within the United Kingdom, to pull up the drawbridge and to close itself, of course, from Europe, but from the rest of the world. It's not in Britain's interest, it's not in Europe's interest, and it certainly is not in India's interest for that to happen. Today, India has lost a good friend in David Cameron.
Okay.
And we do need to, India needs to be an interested party in how things progress.
Mr. Larba, appreciate you joining us. FTSE 250 has responded on David Cameron's resignation, dropping by about 11.4%, the worst decline on record. Social media in a frenzy as well on David Cameron's announcement that he will step down as the Prime Minister of the UK. Widely expected, as experts have been telling us, that within his own party there have been calls also for his resignation. But interestingly, he himself had said he would remain the Prime Minister no matter the verdict. Around 84 Conservative MPs who campaigned for for Britain to leave the European Union had also urged him to stay on, but he has said no.